Is that going to fall again?
I don't think so.
I like this song.
I love this song.
Yes, 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 yes. Is that coming across the speakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Company!
So screw it. Ready?
Ready when you are.
I can't hear you when these are on, just FYI.
I know. That's usually why I just smile. Honey.
275. Okay.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 LPFM Lexington. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the hottest talk radio show in Lexington. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Or if you are out of the Lexington area, you can download the WLXU app on your smartphone device. Amber Turner, ladies and gentlemen, is sitting beside me, as she is always. Amber, how are you doing today, ma'am?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I feel like Ryan Seacrest today. I feel like a media mogul today, and I'll tell you why. Because Ryan Seacrest, what does he do? Walk me through Ryan Seacrest's day.
So Ryan does the daytime drive in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So he's on the radio, and then he's live with Kelly and Ryan.
Hey, what? No, yeah, with Kelly and Ryan, but you mixed it up. He
Yeah.
actually does the talk show first, then he
Okay.
goes downstairs and does a radio show. So I feel like that today because I am doing a talk show and a radio show all in one day, and it's very strange.
I feel like you're getting so famous now. I felt a little weird on the drive over.
No, it's been great. I've filled in for Midday Kentucky on ABC 36 at 12:30. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching that. I'll be on next week. I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. I believe it's on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
Okay.
I'll post it on my social media, so you can follow me on my social media if you want it.
And then if not, I always record it. So
Amber always records it. And I would give my
number one fan.
You are. And I would give out my social media, but there's so many different handles. I don't have time for that in the first segment.
I know.
So I save it for the last segment.
Folks, we're working on getting him one handle.
one handle. If I need to buy the rights to the @Adam Banks, can you do that? Can you buy Twitter handles?
I don't know.
Social media handles.
See, your name is very confusing, and I didn't put it together when we were younger. But you know that the Mighty Ducks, there's an Adam Banks on there, and I feel like when I talk about you, sometimes people are like, Mighty Ducks, and I'm like, no.
I get that all the time, and I don't take offense to it because Adam Banks in the Mighty Ducks movie was cool.
He was balling, and you guys kind of look alike. So,
So Midday Kentucky was cool. I want to talk about that for just a second. They've been having me on there quite a bit, and I really am appreciative of that. I really do enjoy working with everybody that works there. I'm talking everyone from the host, Amber Freeman, all the way down to the, I'm telling you, the people who just clean up the set afterwards.
Okay.
I like every single person that works there. But we had an interesting topic on today's show.
okay.
On Midday Kentucky, if you missed it, and I want to bring it up to my off-the-cuff audience. I want to ask you guys what you think about this. So, when I walk in, I don't really know what they're going to throw at me on the talk show on TV. I don't know what they're going to say. So I don't have time to prepare anything that I'm going to say. I don't really know what's going to be said, and except about 10 to 15 minutes before we go on air. And they said, okay, today we're going to be talking about women having hairy armpits.
Okay.
And the first internal thing that came into my mind was, that's disgusting.
I know.
That's gross. So when we brought it up on TV, they show visuals on TV while they're talking over it. They show like the woman with the hairy armpits, like she's a model. Well, they showed this beautiful model with her arms raised up, and she had hair under her arms. So they asked me on the show. They said, Adam, what do you think about this? And I flat out said, it is disgusting.
You gave your honest opinion.
It's gross. I tell you, there are certain things, Amber, that men like about women, and one of the things that men like about women is just that they have smooth bodies.
Okay. Okay.
You know, and what we mean by that is, like, hair in general is just like a gross thing anyway.
So you like long hair on women, but as long as it's on her head, it's not on her armpits.
The only hair that it's got to be on the head.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But women who think that it's, what do they call it? Fulfilling.
It's empowering.
Empowering. Women who think that's empowering. Okay, cool. I'm all about you empowering yourself and being who you want to be and all that good stuff. But with the hairy armpits, no.
Well, I mean, I guess I am a woman, so I am allowed to have a pretty strong opinion about this. I can get why some people think it's empowering. You're breaking a social norm. It's a social norm that women are supposed to shave their legs, shave their armpits, and shave any other, hair that you might have. And I do that. I would be entirely grossed out if I did find myself allowing my armpit hair to get probably longer than, just the tip of a pin. But I can see how some women think it's empowering. It's just, a lot of us don't.
I get really grossed out when I see just stubble under a woman's arm.
Well, no, you can't do that.
I know it's bad. I'm sorry. I just get a little gross. That's just me.
Look, we like to take power showers too.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can't hit everything.
Yeah. Aaron on the show thread says, "Say it louder for those in the back." I think that 90% of the men out there would agree with me that they don't want their woman to have hairy armpits.
I think it's going to be a little higher than that.
The 95%.
I think it might even be a lot higher than that.
Now, I think it's mixed. I think the women would say it's okay to have hairy armpits. Okay, do your thing. But good luck finding a man that wants to cuddle with you. Because how would you feel cuddling and then all of a sudden you
get a big...
She reaches over you to get the remote.
See, I can actually see your armpit hair now.
And thanks for the visual for those at home. And does it gross you out though when you see me with armpit hair?
No, I'm used to it. I'm used to men.
So you think that's why that maybe we... Do you think the reason we find it disgusting is because we're not used to seeing it on women?
Honestly, I think the reason we have such strong opinions about it is we were raised in Eastern Kentucky where a lot of things are, I know somebody would probably disagree with this, but a lot of the things we do have been passed down to us by generations. And I just know how my grandmothers were, and it was shave your armpits, shave your legs, period. You weren't allowed to put up a debate. You weren't allowed to say, oh, I'm not going to do this. Just do it and go on about your business.
But there's certain things that women like in men. For instance, you like for your men to be masculine. A lot of women do. They like for men to have, they like for men to be strong. They like for men to be manly. They like for men to just tackle things on, face first. That's just what you like about men. You like your men a little on the rough side.
Yeah.
That's just what women like. Well, men like their women a little bit on the feminine side.
And that's totally fine.
They do. They like, so... There are certain things that men can appreciate about women that we don't even realize that we're appreciating at the time. For instance, when you move in with a woman and she puts her womanly touch onto your place, it's nothing, there's nothing in the world like that. There's no greater feeling than that. I'm talking... Just think your bathroom. You walk into a bathroom, you step foot in a man's apartment in his bathroom, it's just very plain, dirty, and the bathroom floor is just pretty rough. But when a woman moves in, she puts those little frizzly rugs in there, those little soft rugs.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm saying women. I'm saying women in general
That's
do that.
true.
And it just the house smells better. They've got nice decorative curtains up, things that we wouldn't even think to put up. Women do. They put that women's touch up.
So when my husband and I finally decided that, we were going to move in together, his apartment, and I know we've joked about this before, his bed was in the floor, he had a little small love seat, and he used his guitar cases as a coffee table.
Yeah.
And you see how fully furnished. My house has been fully furnished, like grandmother level, fully furnished since I was 20.
Yeah.
20. And here my poor husband has his bed in the floor, he's got one old beat up chest of drawers, and he's eating pizza on guitar cases.
Well, it's like when a woman moves into a man's apartment, he's all of a sudden sleeping on $200 sheets.
Yeah, you're sleeping on nice sheets.
We're sleeping on nice pillows, nice sheets. It's just nice to have that woman's touch in your house. And no matter how much a man tries to replicate that, they can't.
You can't.
It's just the natural woman's touch. So it's the same way when we're hanging out with our lady. We like them to be a little smooth and soft because we are typically, as men, we're rough and ragged and it's just...
I guess the best way that I can say it just from a woman's point of view is I can see why you don't want to roll over and bury your face in a hairy armpit, because if your eyes are closed, then you're automatically going to think, man, I've got my head in like some other dude's armpit. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. That would gross me out.
Same thing for legs, too. I mean, I don't like...
Look, you in the stubble, you got to give us a little wiggle room.
I give you wiggle room on the legs with the stubble, but not the armpits.
You have to give us just a little. I mean, my armpit hair could grow. It's growing right now. Right now as we're speaking. Like, if I don't shave my armpits every day... Because you got to think, I have jet black hair. Yeah. Naturally jet black hair.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to see my armpit hair a mile away.
Right.
So you got to give me a little. Right. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. So, I mean, I don't want people to listen to this and be like, oh, and look, this is a soft topic. I'm not trying to make it controversial.
No,
As a woman's body, do what you want to. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want to. You can walk around like Grizzly Adams all you want. I don't find it attractive.
No, and I guess one of the things, that I can say about it is, unfortunately, I had a terrible experience when we were in grade school with armpit hair. And it has forevermore changed my life.
Tell us that story.
Okay. So, unfortunately, I have had diabetes my entire life.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
And there are certain characteristics that come with diabetes, and one of them is darkening of the skin in certain areas.
Yep.
Around my neck, under my armpits. So, think if you will, it's 8th grade. I'm in the 8th grade. We're at a basketball game against Caney. Elementary, which is one of our biggest rivals at the time.
People don't know who Caney Elementary is.
Well, it's another elementary school
Okay.
that, was our biggest rival. And I was a cheerleader. You were a basketball player. Number, 23?
I had a lot.
I think you were 23. So we're out there, we're playing, and I'm doing a cheer, and my arms go up, and my boyfriend at the time was on the opposing team.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I realized that there's some little catty girls run up to him, and they're whispering to him, and all of a sudden, it's halftime, he breaks up with me. And I was like, what? Because we've been together for a little while. Like, he was my first real kiss.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what had went wrong. Well, long story short, found out somebody had said I had hairy armpits. This mean, nasty girl told him I had hairy armpits. She did not even, she wasn't even close enough to me to realize that.
So she mistakenly thought you had hair under your arms because the tint of your skin was a little darker.
And I absolutely was mortified.
And he broke up with you.
He broke up with me, and it was a whole spectacle that entire night. I remember I was even so embarrassed. I didn't come to school at our elementary school the next day because everybody knew.
I hate that happened to you, but
that's the social stigma. Like, it's not. Yes, I think that we should teach everyone to be themselves, but we also have to prepare. I'm gonna say just young children in general, but mostly young girls. You have to prepare them for things like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared to handle that.
Right.
Now you make fun of me now. I don't care. We'll fist fight.
Right.
But back then I didn't. I didn't have that confidence and courage in myself to know she was just being
right. And plus, it's also you also got to think about this. There's also that awkward time in a girl's life when she's going through puberty and she don't know whether to shave, whether not to shave. She don't know how to. She don't know if she's supposed to.
Exactly.
And so there's going to be a time in every woman's life when she's going to be walking around with hairy armpits and hairy legs because there's just going to be a time for that.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you had to go through a very embarrassing moment with that.
It was terrible.
And I'm sure there's several other people who went through that, but that just confirms that men, even in the 8th grade, don't
even
like,
in the 8th grade, men do not.
Even in the 8th grade,
and
men,
he actually was 2 years younger than us, so he was in the 6th grade.
See, boys in the 6th grade don't like hairy armpits. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first commercial break, and we will be right back after these words.
Every donation to Lexington Community Radio makes a difference.
Oh, God.
Tell us they wish they could give more.
That is a legit true story.
A vehicle, but don't want the hassle of selling it or fixing it? Consider donating it to Lexington Community Radio. Donating your car is a fast, safe, and easy way to support the programming you value. Make a difference by donating your unwanted vehicle. Just go to lexingtoncommunityradio.org/car.
Bluegrass Cycling Club reminds you Kentucky now has a 3-foot passing law. Motor vehicles must leave at least 3 feet when passing a cyclist on a single-lane road, and the driver must change lanes to pass if on a multi-lane road. Kentucky is the 30th state to adopt this safety measure for cyclists. Drive safely, ride safely, and share the road, Lexington.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in the studio with me. Summer is slowly coming.
I mean, I'm not mad about it, though.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
Put it back where it's supposed to go. Yeah, on that one.
I'm working on it.
Thank you very much. And we talked a little bit about that last week, how school shopping has been plastered in everybody's face, and everybody's been doing their shopping, and you see the mall full, you see Walmart full, people getting school supplies. But I gotta ask, Amber, did you ever do any of your shopping at Walmart for school? Not school supplies. I'm talking about for clothes.
No, absolutely not. Ask me why.
Why's that?
Because the stigma that is placed on Walmart clothing is that if you are seen wearing Walmart clothes, you're poor.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason that I never shopped at Walmart for my clothing.
Well, I feel like it's just social. It's the social anxiety. People are afraid to shop at Walmart because of what people will say about the brand. Because brands are really in everybody's face. You got to fit in by wearing a certain brand.
You know, and so I follow an influencer on Instagram, and this, you know, she's been posting a lot of like Walmart finds, things like that. So the last like 6 months, I'll say, I have been buying a lot of things from Walmart.
Yep.
And you would not believe how many people compliment me and ask me, "Oh my gosh, I love that shirt. Where'd you get it?"
Walmart's got good clothes, and Walmart has stepped their game up.
Significantly stepped their game up
from how it used to be. I remember Walmart they did have cheap looking clothes.
Yeah.
But now you walk into Walmart, their hoodies, their shirts, their jeans, it looks like nice, real American Eagle, Abercrombie and Fitch. It looks like all of it.
They're comfortable. They're affordable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because we're older and our tastes have changed.
Right, because older people, if you remember, they used to say, "What's the big deal? It's still Walmart."
Yeah, it's clothes.
Yeah. And I think that it's very smart for parents to buy their children's clothes from Walmart, their little babies, because babies are constantly growing.
Yeah.
If you've got a baby at home, they're growing right now. And they're going to grow out of them shoes in a week. They're going to grow out of those pajamas that you bought them in 2. So why spend a bunch of money? Why go out and spend $1,000 on a pair of
Well, it always cracks me up when I see people buy like 6-month-old Sperry's. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. You just paid $40 for a pair of shoes that kid will never wear. They're 6 months old. They ain't walking. Where are they walking to? They're not walking anywhere. You literally bought shoes to put on a kid for it to sit in a car seat.
Yeah.
And for it to kick that shoe off.
Yeah.
Like, in the car. You lose it. There goes $20. What? You look very perplexed right now. What's wrong?
No. No, the Facebook Live is frustrating me because, like, it deleted off of the iPad, so the first segment of the show didn't even record. That's what's so frustrating about it.
That's okay.
Yeah. I guess not. This show is not meant to be on Facebook.
No, well, you know what? Weird things are happening this week. It's a weird week.
It's been a very weird week.
And maybe I shouldn't have picked that penny up outside.
That's what caused it.
I know. Okay, I hope I'm not the only person in the world that ever heard, see a penny, pick it up, and all day you'll have good luck. But I feel like every time I pick up the penny, always on heads, never on tails, good things don't happen. Bad things happen. We've got to do a ritual and get rid of this penny.
Yeah, please, just toss it out of the studio right now. But yeah, summer is slowly coming to an end, and it's sad because summer's my favorite season. Just the vibe and the feels of summer is good. It's been a good summer.
It has been a good summer.
I feel like it's top 10. I feel like professionally, this has been one of the best summers of my life. And I like where I'm at right now. And I owe it a lot to the things that happened over the summer. Picked up pretty much 2 new jobs this summer, this radio show and a TV talk show.
Yep.
So 2 big things in the entertainment industry. It's been really nice. Makes me want to ask you, Amber, what is your most memorable summer job that you've ever had in your life?
Oh, man. I would say most memorable summer job I had was probably the job I got right when I moved to Lexington. It was just a bunch of people my age working in retail in a city. It was insane.
My favorite job ever was working for my grandfather. It was for a construction company called Homes Incorporated, and we built houses from the ground up.
Okay.
You heard me right. I built houses from the ground up. And it was cool because I now know how to build a house. If you wanted me to build a house, I could, maybe not by myself, but I could assist other carpenters to do so. Because we started with the foundation, with the concrete. I know how to concrete, how to lay the foundation. I know how to frame a house. I know how to put trusses on a house. I even know how to do the finish work in the house. Put the shingles on, put the little baseboards up.
So what you're saying is I don't need to hire anybody to replace my roof. It's going to be me and you.
But yeah, but that summer job also told me that I needed to go to college and make something out of myself, because I tell you, that's hard work.
Oh, there's no way I can work outside.
The people who work in this heat and work in the weather in general, when it's cold and when it's hot, that has to take an effect on your health. And I respect you guys. You guys work hard, and I couldn't do it every day.
No. I know I couldn't.
No. And those laborers, those hard laborers, they don't get enough credit. They don't get enough money. I think that sometimes it's those that work harder get paid less, but...
Especially jobs like that.
Jobs like that.
Oh, like when I see the poor guys out doing road construction, like I always feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I could do that.
Likewise. But
no.
It was definitely my favorite job was learning how to build houses. That was cool.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, school is back in session. Everybody is officially, I think, back this week. If you've not started yet,
we go back on Monday.
You're starting next week. A lot of colleges start next week.
Yeah.
And I know that all the high schools are back in session because I've been seeing the school bus drive up and down the road.
Yep.
Remember waiting on the school bus?
So the school bus was funny for me because I would catch the school bus at 3 different houses.
Yeah.
You know, I'd catch it at my house, my mother's home, my grandmother's home, and my grandparents.
Yeah.
And my grandparents was always chill because I got to ride the bus that had the music. Remember, we had one particular bus that had speakers and a sound system. That was fun. But when I rode the bus at my grandmother's house, that was terrifying.
Why?
Well, because the bus driver that I had at that time, he had absolutely no emotion.
Yeah.
I remember this man's stone cold face looking at me, telling me how excited he was about something. And I remember being a kid being like, dude, like, smile, man.
I learned so much from the school bus. Everything from...
sex, drugs.
And rock and roll.
And rock and roll.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll is what I learned on the bus. So when you think that your kids are learning it at school, they're not. They're learning it on the way to school.
Yep.
I remember the first time I was ever offered a joint was on the school bus, and it was in high school. It was on the vocational bus. Do you remember when we had to, in high school, we had to drive the vocational bus?
That was terrible. I just want to go on record and say that was absolutely the worst experience I had in high school. Was riding that bus.
Yeah, that's where I got offered those drugs. But it happens. There's so much that happens on the bus. I remember my bus driver, when I was younger, you had to be waiting on her because she absolutely flew off the face of the earth. When you wasn't outside, sometimes you'd be standing outside, and if you wasn't right by the road, vroom, she was gone. You know, I've heard people, they talk about their bus drivers. They'll stop, they'll honk, they'll wait on you. Come on, I'm waiting on you. No, not my bus driver. It was just a yellow streak going by the house.
Well, I think I enjoyed the high school bus more than I did the grade school bus. The high school bus, I don't know about you, because I think we rode 2 separate buses in high school. That was when the fun really happened. Because I remember I used to watch some magnificent things happen. Yeah. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my word, how did that even happen? I used to watch people eat a full breakfast. I used to watch people put on a full face of makeup, and I'm talking, you know, like eyebrows, eyeliner, which I can't even do now sitting stationary because my hands are shaky. But these girls are on here drawing their eyebrows on perfectly. Like, there was some weird things I seen happen on the bus.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to take another quick break. Sorry to cut you off, but
you're good.
I don't want to take a hard break again, but we'll be back with We'll be back with our Song of the Week. We missed the Song of the Week last week.
We did.
So we're going to make up for a really good song, and we're going to play that when we come back after these words. Stick around. I cannot believe that my live just went out.
Did you get it going again?
Yeah.
93.9 FM, Lexington, Kentucky.
I can't tell you that now.
Are you a fan of rock music? Are you also tired of the music industry, streaming algorithms, and charts telling you what music you should be listening to? Tune in to Mind Your Manners, all about the music and none of the nonsense, with me, your host, Mary Clark, where I play my favorite songs from all rock genres, all decades, and all countries.
Oh no, it's saved.
So you can listen without any industry interference.
Yeah, I was going to say I can still see it.
On WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio.
What about it?
Bluegrass Cycling Club reminds you your
I
car
didn't
doors can be deadly.
Am I missing something?
Drivers and passengers,
Yeah.
open your door with your inside hand.
Text it to
That will
me.
swivel your body around to notice
The name.
approaching cyclists. And cyclists, when riding on car-lined streets, watch out for opening doors that could bang into you or block your path. Drive safely, ride safely, and share the road. Lexington. Yes, I heard I got a thinking problem. She's always on my mind.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks and Amber here with you in the studio. I love that song. Except I used to think it said, yes, I admit I've got a drinking problem.
And I think that's exactly what I was singing in my head just then.
But he's not saying that.
No, he says thinking. He's just thinking.
He's saying thinking, listen. Oh, I thought he was about to hit the verse there. Country music in the 90s, nothing like it. They always told a story. All right, Amber, we haven't talked about this much.
Okay.
I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show.
Okay.
Area 51.
Okay.
Aliens. There's whole programs that dedicate their entire program to the discussion of aliens, so we're just going to not do a whole program over it, just a segment. But I want to talk about Area 51. So Area 51 has been the focus of conspiracy theory for decades. And people who don't know what Area 51 is an open training range for the U.S. Air Force. And they train people in the Air Force, but there's just something that's been very mysterious about it throughout time. People have always just looked at it as just this big mystique, like what in the world is actually at Area 51? Many people think it is where the government stores its secrets about UFOs and aliens. And the government officially acknowledged Area 51 as a U.S.-based military site in 2013. Okay, so in 1989, a former Area 51 employee by the name of Bob Lazar claimed to have worked on an alien spacecraft. But now later that was discredited. Now, why it was discredited, I don't know if the government discredited it or not, but he claimed that.
Conspiracy.
So this gentleman named Matty Roberts, young guy, he proposed a meeting on September 20th, that on September 20th, everybody should raid Area 51 because he's saying that the aliens can't take us all down. So if we all together...
I don't think it has anything to do with the aliens.
So if we all raid Area 51 together, we're going to be able to beat the aliens. What do you make of that?
I don't think it has anything to do with the aliens. I think this is probably just a secure base, like any military base. And people we love a good conspiracy theory. I don't know about you, but conspiracy theories are one of my absolute favorite things. And unfortunately, aliens are a big part of that. And I don't know.
Okay, well, the Air Force is not taking this very lightly. They really think that there might be a storm on September 20th. There might be people actually interfere with that. Ooh, and we're getting a call here in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to be able to take the call right now. I'm so sorry because I have no idea what you're calling about unless you want to talk about the aliens. Maybe we can.
Maybe we can.
All right, here we go. Let's take the call. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. If I can remember, Amber, how to put people back on the air. Here we go. 1, 2. Hold. Hello, you're on the air. Hello? And you're going to call and you're going to hang up.
Did somebody just prank call us?
Prank yankers.
We just got prank called.
All right, but Area 51, they're taking it serious. They really do think
that was probably the FBI calling to tell us to stop talking about Area 51.
Don't scare me like that. Don't scare me like that because the FBI don't play games.
That was exactly what that was.
But they have warned people not to do it because there is a chance that you could spend up to 1 year in prison and be fined $5,000. So the guy Maddie, he said that it started off as a joke. He was just playing around, but he didn't actually think people would respond to it the way they have been. And he said that he wants to, instead of everybody storming Area 51 because he don't want to get in trouble, he is throwing a music festival right next to the air base. So instead of people actually going to the base, people are actually going to go to a festival that's located right beside of it. It's in Rachel, Nevada, and they're going to have music, they're going to have live bands there, and pretty famous bands.
I was going to say, who do we have signed up?
They've not actually announced who's going to be there.
If it's somebody cool, we should go.
Yeah.
I'll go to that. I'll go to a festival. I'm not going to jump the wall. Not doing all that. That's nonsense.
You're not?
No.
So do you believe in aliens?
I don't know. I mean, if this were a ghost conversation, I feel like I believe more in ghosts than I do aliens. But I believe that we've just turned aliens into such a cartoon that it would be hard for my brain to wrap around thinking that they're real.
Yeah.
Do you believe in aliens?
I think that it would be very narcissistic of us to feel like that we are the only things on the planet or in the world. I think that this is a huge universe, and I think that there are other things in this universe besides human beings.
Does it freak you out when you think about that there is not like a bottom to the universe, that it's never ending? Does that freak you out a little bit?
No, because I know who's holding the universe up.
I know, but I think that's such a wild concept.
It is, when you actually think about the concept of just how we are just a planet floating in a...
Like right now we are rotating.
In space, yeah, right now we are just... I mean, what happens if the Earth just decides to fall?
Where are we going to go?
Where do we go?
In my head, I always just envision that the Earth is kind of like a basketball, and if we fall, we just hit the floor and bounce back up, but there is no floor.
Well, think about this. Right, there's no floor. Think about eternity. Think about that for just a second. In your mind, think about eternity. Something that never ends.
I can't, I'm one of those people, I very much have to think in a box. I have to think that things begin and they end. Yeah. Everything has to have a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
And when I think that there is potentially no end, it freaks me out. I'm freaked out right now.
Yeah. Well, eternity, a lot of Christians, they believe at the end of life, this worldly life, that you die and you slip off into eternity, either in heaven or either in hell, but you slip off into eternity. And if you sit down and you really think about the concept of slipping off into eternity, that's a wild thing to think about. Something that never ends.
Never ends.
It will never end. So you are there forever. 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, you're just getting started. I heard somebody illustrate eternity like this. Let's say somebody slips off into eternity, okay? Let's say somebody dies and goes to hell. They slip off into eternity and they die and they're in hell for eternity, forever. I heard somebody illustrate just to kind of put it in a concept the best way they could of how long eternity is. So everybody's familiar with Myrtle Beach, right? Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
Think about a bird flying down and picking up a grain of sand off of the beach at Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Taking a grain of sand and flying it all the way back up to the moon and dropping it off, and then coming back down and picking up another piece of grain of sand, flying it all the way back to the moon, coming back down, and then until every single grain of sand, one by one, is removed from the beach. It's completely empty. The bird does all of that. You are just getting started in eternity. That's how long it is. However long it took that bird to do that, you are just getting started. And when I heard them illustrate it like that, I was like, whoa.
I know, it's enough to... we started watching a new show last night called The Good Place.
Yeah.
And it's about this lady who... She dies, and she gets to go to The Good Place.
Yeah.
And they just do one little snippet of what... They don't call it the bad place. They just call it the other place.
Yeah.
And they do like one of those little snippets where they have an audio, and it's just nothing but just screaming, and you can hear flames, and they're like, we're going to turn that off now. And I was like, oh my goodness, that right there is enough to make me never want to go to the other place.
Yeah. Well, enjoy life while you have it here on this planet, at least.
Yeah, for
because
real.
eternity is a long, long time. Eternity is a long time to get it wrong. Whatever you believe, it's a too long to get it wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take some time out to play off the cuff song of the week, and I think it's very fitting. It's called "Real Good Life"
Okay.
by the Mowglis.
Okay.
Enjoy the show. I will never be a musical DJ because I am horrible at transitioning from talking to a song.
I think you do a real good job.
Yeah, you're just saying that because I pay you too much.
Number 1 fan club.
Is there a way to combine those videos?
No.
Oh, I can find a way.
I think I got it wrong. That's not the person I thought.
Yeah.
No.
What? You can't say that and then not
I
say
would think Dale Earnhardt Jr. just got killed.
Who said that? Crash.
Plane crash. Oh, everybody survived the crash. Oh gosh. Yeah, everybody survived and none of the injuries are serious. Whew.
Did it crash?
Yeah, it crashed, but they're okay.
I might have to announce that.
Ooh.
Brando says a fitting song for old Brando, Highway to Hell. Love y'all. Oh, gosh. Brando, thanks for listening, man. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Ann.
Hey, Gene.
Hey, Jeanine.
Listening out in Idaho.
Idaho?
Idaho. Oh, you got a frog in the throat.
All right, Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in the studio with you. I got breaking news, everybody. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was in a plane crash. It crashed just a few moments ago. His wife, Amy, and their child were on a plane that crashed in Tennessee on Thursday afternoon, according to Mike Davis with Junior Motorsports. Davis said that the Earnhardts, thank God, they were not injured.
Shoo.
So they are not injured. Everybody's okay. It says that the plane, airport manager Dan Cogan told WJHL the private plane ran off the end of the runway and said everybody on the plane is expected to be okay.
Wow.
Very tragic.
And I feel like that is one of my biggest fears is running off the runway.
Oh gosh.
Because we've had that happen here in Lexington. And I think that was probably one of the saddest days in this entire state, was that day.
That really was. And that happened...
2006.
2006, and it happened in August.
Yep.
And it happened in August of 2006, so we're almost at a anniversary of that.
Oh, gosh.
That time. Could you imagine?
No, I mean, we've talked about it on the show before about, anxiety with flying in general. And I just, when I see stories like this, I know they're few and far between, but it just brings back all of the anxiety that I have about flying.
All right, guys, we're going to take our last commercial break, and we're going to wrap things up here on Off the Cuff. So stick with us. We'll be back after these words.
Newspaper El Mundo Bluegrass is proud to support Lexington Community Radio. El Mundo Bluegrass is a Spanish-language newspaper, free and now articles in English. Its mission is to unite Hispana and American community with news from KY centers in the world. The Bluegrass work can be found in stores and businesses, Mexicans, Latinos, or Americans. For publicity and more information, visit www.elmundobluegrass.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Mundo Bluegrass or call today at
There's no way to combine There's no way to combine the videos, are there?
No. It's fine, though.
Do you want to get rid of an old vehicle but don't want to deal
It's
with
fine. It's just for us.
It just like
junking?
blinked.
Consider donating
It's like
to
blinked. I
Lexington
just like
Community
blinked and it went
Radio.
off.
The donation process is
I bet we
safe and
lost
simple. You get rid
Wi-Fi.
of your unwanted vehicle, you may qualify for a tax
Something
deduction,
happened,
and
yeah.
you support
Yeah.
the creative work of more than 160 of your friends and neighbors who produce original, hyper-local content.
I mean, I'm sure there is a way
7 days a
to
week
splice
right
it
here
together.
on
I just don't know.
Community Radio. Find out more about donating your unwanted car, boat, motorcycle, or RV, whether it runs or not, at Lexington
You're gonna like my next topic.
Huh?
You're gonna like my next topic.
/car.
If you...
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in the studio with me. Amber, when you go to the movies, especially today, you're seeing a lot of movies that they look very familiar.
Yeah.
You see the Lion King remake, you see Toy Story 4, which is,
Aladdin.
you see Aladdin.
It was a great remake.
And we know it's reboot city. We know that people are reviving movies and TV shows like crazy.
That's okay.
Another Disney movie is getting a reboot. That's The Little Mermaid, and they're making a feature film out of the movie, and they're actually going to make it a non-cartoon. We've seen movies do this before. 101 Dalmatians did it.
Beauty and the Beast did it.
Beauty and the Beast did it. Lion King did it, and Aladdin did it. And now The Little Mermaid is following suit. So the big controversy here with that is The Little Mermaid, Ariel, the actress that they hired to play Ariel is black. A lot of people are upset about it. The actress they hired to play Ariel, her name is Halle Bailey. Not Halle Berry.
No.
Halle Bailey. Why they didn't change her name before she went into the entertainment industry, I don't know. And why would you name your kid Halle Bailey? Because it sounds too close to Halle Berry. I mean, that makes me want to call her...
if you're going to have a name close to somebody, who else would you want to have a name close to?
Yeah, it makes me want to call her Halle Berry. But anyway, Halle Bailey, I'm sure she's a lovely woman, she's been chosen out of thousands and thousands of girls who auditioned to play Ariel. So out of 2,200 people surveyed, just about 58% supported the casting, which was most popular with Generation Z. 60% in support, and Democrats, 75% in support. The least favorable groups were baby boomers, 50% in support, and Republicans, 44% in support. Here is how I feel about it. What is your intention as to being mad that the studio hired a black actress to play Ariel? What is your intention? If your intention is you feel like it should have been someone who looked like the cartoon character with the red hair, I can see why you would be a little upset that it's totally gone away from the cartoon because you like the cartoon so much. But if you are upset because you are mad because she's just black and that's the only reason you're mad, then one, that's racist, And 2, that's ridiculous. Get over it. What's your intention?
I don't even understand why it was even a problem what color her skin was. She is a wonderful actress. Do you not want to have a movie that has good acting, or would you rather have some plain Jane, vanilla, and I don't mean to say it like that, but, just a very, bleak performance by somebody because they fit the description that was made in, in the 50s into a cartoon?
Yeah, but let me ask you, don't you think that the actress should look like the cartoon?
No. Who come up with that? Who said that? Who said that?
That the actress should
It's
look
a
like...
story. It's a story being told.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that at that time that the story was being told, that was what they chose to represent that character. But at the end of the day, it's a book. It was a story that was written. So everybody's interpretation should have been taken into account. But no, at the time it wasn't. She was made to be porcelain skin and long red hair. But that doesn't mean that that's all she can be.
That's right.
Because I don't look like her.
Again, that goes back to being used to things. We, as men, get disgusted when we see women with hairy armpits because we're not used to seeing that. I think people get mad because they're not used to seeing Ariel being anything else other than this pearl skin, red hair. But here's the thing. Would the people who's upset with this still be mad if the actress was white but she had blonde hair instead of red? Do you think they would have been mad?
No,
So
not
you
yet.
so you think that they're mad simply because she's black?
Because the color of her skin.
Yeah.
And I think that is an absolute travesty. I really do. I think it is, because we pass up so many of these talented people who are more deserving sometimes because of the color of their skin, and that shouldn't have anything to do with it. I absolutely love Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
I think he has been such an advocate for showing that, black men are more than just what they've been typecast as. And he gave Halle some advice. He done an interview, and, he pretty much just said, keep your head up. And when she was asked, I think what got me the most about her is when somebody asked her, like, oh, how do you feel? She said she felt like she was dreaming, and she was just so grateful. That's literally what she said. She felt like she was in a dream, and she was just grateful. This little girl has paved the way for herself. She is a beautiful actress, and I don't understand why this is even been a controversy. Let her go up there and do what the God-given talent was given to her.
The hashtag #NotMyAriel has been floating around social media. People think that the actress should look like the cartoon mermaid, and they're upset that they're not. So that's kind of how it's... The Little Mermaid has yet to set a release date, but I was always a big fan of the cartoon.
I mean...
I don't want to go watch the movie because I wasn't... I was a big fan of the cartoon. I don't think they can make a movie as good as they did the cartoon.
I thought the same thing about Aladdin, and I went, and it was absolutely, hands down, it was better than the cartoon. And I'm like, I'll be there. I'll be front and center.
Ursula was the best. I think it's between Ursula and Cruella de Vil being the best female cartoon villains.
Oh, yeah.
Those two were rocking.
Oh, yeah.
And mean?
Well, Cruella de Vil, ooh. She looked like she didn't bath.
She looked like she smoked about 100 cigarettes.
I know. She looked like she smelled like a big Marlboro.
Ha!
She was a walking Marlboro.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of Off the Cuff. It's always a pleasure to do the show. It's always a pleasure to have you tune in. If you want to follow Off the Cuff, you can follow the Facebook page Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Follow me on Instagram at AdamBanks818. Follow me on Twitter at AdamBanks88. Follow Amber, if you want to, on Snapchat and Instagram at Ambu447. And
we will work on getting him one handle, guys.
We got to.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
But it's always a pleasure to have you listen, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you check out Midday Kentucky next week. I'll be on there co-hosting on ABC 36 at 12:30. Set your DVRs. There's all kinds of topics, kind of just like here on the radio show that we talk about. So if you want to see it in visual form, and you actually want to see what I look like, you can actually turn on ABC 36, because a lot of the listeners that listen to the radio show don't know what I look like.
Well, I told them earlier you look like Adam Banks from the Mighty Ducks. So they've got a little bit of a visual representation.
It's a horrible description of what I actually look like. Horrible description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, that is Amber Turner. I'm Adam Banks. And This is what is going on here?
We need a new producer.
Or are you saying I'm not good at it?
We need a new producer. I'll leave it at that.
We're going to close you out with a great 90s country song. I'm a big fan of this song, That Ain't My Truck.
Okay.
Talking about, in this song, he's talking about, listen to the words, folks, when I play it, as I close this out. He's talking about driving by and seeing his woman cheating on him. And he's saying he knows she's cheating on him because it ain't his truck parked in her driveway. It's a very good song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next Thursday from 4 to 5 on WLXU 93.9 FM. I'm Adam Banks. This is Off the Cuff. We'll see you later. Listen, everybody. We'll see you next week.